And so are you. Welcome back to the channel. Josh and Brandy Helm here. And today's always an exciting day because it's that critical point in our projects where we are wrapping things up and our clients are getting ready to move in. You know, that's what your goal is, right?
Yes, for them to move in, us to get out of here.
Move out.
Yeah.
And so we are excited today because we're going to be showing you guys another finished tour Barndominium. This is the Malakoff Barndominium. So there's a lot of great features that we're going to get into, but real quick, I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that now. We are so thankful for all of you that have done that, if you have. But at the same time, you know, there's analytics, there's all these things that make our things keep moving, right? And so we need you to continue your support. If you've already subscribed, then hit the like button. Also ring the bell so you can get notified whenever we have a new video that comes up. We are trying to post a lot more frequently now with our updates and informational style videos. So we have right now, as of today, over 250 some odd videos on YouTube, and it's all about barndominiums.
And we have a lot more coming.
Yes, so want you guys to be along for the journey. For those of you that have been here for so long, we appreciate your support. Now, moving into this build, one of the things uniquely about this is it's a monitor style home. That just means the shape, basically, is what we're talking about, being the monitor style. It's similar to our Sadler Barndominium. If you guys haven't seen that video, you should check it out as well.
I think it's a fan favorite. So
Yeah.
I think this one will be too, because they like the shape, they like the aesthetics of it.
Yeah, and it just gives a beautiful design. You're inviting to that gable front on the design. Overall, it's a 30 by 60 main frame when it comes to the center part of this structure. And then we have a lot of porches, but that doesn't include the porches with the 30 by 60.
We have 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,150 square foot of living space, and 1,700 square foot of porches. I think they're planning on being outside a little more than they are on the inside.
Right, and that's just part of the nature of this particular setup. And the way that they sort of built the pond even, it's like it's complementing the house because you have all that porch that looks out.
Right, so we also have 900 square foot of shop, which is really more like a garage in this build because there's not the elevated ceilings and all that. So we actually finished out, it's actually heated and cooled bonus square footage on top of the garage.
Yeah, and one thing to note about that is our typical frame that we would do in the shop areas wouldn't allow to have the upper storage. So you have to frame that a little bit differently, which we did accommodate after they wanted to make this change, because in the initial plans it didn't have this bonus storage. But I think they were just feeling like, well, we might need more space, because the main part of the living square footage is just on the first floor is only like 900 something square feet. So the feeling was, well, you know, what if our kids come or this happens or whatever? So they wanted to have, a little more flex space. Now, as far as the aesthetics on the exterior makeup of this home, we have some different color schemes going on here, but it's really, really attractive because you have the Galvalume roof, which is a more reflective top surface, but it almost looks white and kind of ties in with the white trim. But here, this is a Galvalume roof. It's 612 pitch. Our eave heights on this build are 14 foot. That's a good eave height whenever you're thinking about a second story. Sometimes it pushes you up a little bit higher, but that's something you got to sort of work out in your design, making sure that you have plenty of room for your upstairs. But 14 foot is what we got here. On the exterior wall panels, we're using a charcoal PBR style panel. And then we have a brilliant white trim. And all of these materials come from Central States Manufacturing, which that's where we're getting a lot of our color schemes.
On the exterior stone in this build, we did a white Austin stone with a white mortar. The white mortar really brings more of the whites out of the stone. Depending on the color that you choose, it's going to pull a different color from that natural stone.
Yeah, and keep in mind on the white stone, this Austin stone, a lot of times there's a little bit of yellow in here. A lot of our clients don't want the yellow, you know. So
handpick the white ones.
Yeah, and it's not really the way it works, but you try to do the best you can to flip them over or change this or that. But here, That is something that we work towards to try to make sure that they kept it as white as possible. Another thing for the stone that we did here, which I think is uniquely different, is we have the pony walls that we created as dividing points for the porches. We haven't done this before, but I would recommend it because it kind of breaks up those porch space.
Yeah, it kind of makes it feel like the building went further out with those porches.
It enables you sort of divide up, say, a patio area where you might have a table set up over here, but more living room type furniture on this side. I could envision
Breaks it up.
yeah, being able to do something like that. Also on the exterior, we have some accenting windows that we did here. Now this is the picture frame style windows, and I would encourage you when you have this vault space to do something similar to this, because it gives you a way to tie the angled roof slope as well as the bringing it down, you know, into the open area below. But matching those pitches up is something that you definitely want to do whenever you are ordering your windows. So another thing, when we were doing the electrical, this is something that we coordinated and we were definitely talking about, was trying to add in some gooseneck lights. And this is a great feature that I think accents on the front of the home. It looks good during the daytime, but at the night time, you like to accent just a little bit on those porches. Now, the basis for the interior of this home is pretty simple. You've got your main living room, kitchen area, which is open to a vaulted loft area. That's pretty much the interior, but the main living room is a 17 by 14. We have big vaulted open area with a ceiling fan, which is a windmill style. And that's always nice when you can incorporate a large fan in these big rooms.
They have the same flooring throughout. They use a Covington oak vinyl plank. It's from Lowe's, but bad news, it's discontinued. So it is really pretty, but you're not going to probably be able to find it anywhere.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great options, and sometimes when they're discontinuing stuff, they got better things coming down the road. So
They'll have something that resembles it.
right. Your wall color here is a Sherwin-Williams called Lazy Gray. That's a great color.
But all the trim and the doors and everything are a pure white. That's Sherwin-Williams as well.
Another main feature here off the living room is a fireplace that we have here. And we're bringing some of that outside inside with this white Austin stone. And on our hearth, we're using a flat, smooth stone for the looters. And that always is a nice touch. For our mantle here on the fireplace, we're just using an accented pine. It's framed in from our cabinet man. He built this for us, and we're able to stain it. Now, cedar, if you use cedar, it's a little more porous and it takes in stain a lot more. So, you know, whenever you're choosing what type of wood you're going to use on the mantle, that's some of the considerations. All right, and moving into our kitchen, this is where we really like to see a lot of these details and all this stuff come about, because it's really where you want to shine.
It's the heart of the home.
Keep in mind that our overall makeup for this area is a 15 by 30 when it comes to your big open room. So you're sharing some of that space as an entryway, and of course you will have the island to break some of that up. For our main cabinets, we have a lot of upper cabinets and the layout here is more L-shaped when it comes to the setup for the cabinets, but our uppers have a lot of cabinet storage, and it has to kind of shelf off because you can't take your cabinets all the way up to the ceiling on a build like this because of the vaulted ceilings. What this does allow is we put the upper lights here, which will allow you to be able to put decorative stuff, fill some of that space if you want to.
We also have the under cabinet lighting as well. So you can have your main lights off and just leave those on, and leaves like a night light, or it changes the mood of the room as well.
And we have a large upright pantry as opposed to doing a corner pantry. This is something that's a little bit different than we normally have because we don't have a designated room. Sometimes you're working with a tighter space, you don't have the way to work that in, but in this particular build, it's just a full height cabinet. So all the cabinets are a pure white color, like all of the doors and trim, accented with the brushed nickel hardware. Another thing that we're doing is we have soft close, which is a little bit more money, but we have soft close hinges throughout on all the cabinets.
So in this kitchen, one thing I really like is the fact that they did two different types of countertops. They used a black leathered pearl granite in the back that breaks up all that white. They used a white subway tile with a gray grout. And for the island, they used a Giotto gray quartz. It's a white quartz that has some gray veining in it. It's really pretty, but it's really beautiful, and I love the way that it brings everything together in this room.
Another thing that we should tell them a little bit more about is these large pendants that we have hanging here.
Yeah, so they're actually not pendants. They're actually a chandelier that is a farmhouse wood lantern look. They have like a candlestick that's got 5 lights in it. But I like that they use 2 of those here, so it kind of makes it almost like a more grand piece than just a small pendant light.
You know, the thing with the pendants is sometimes I feel like you could put too many. So it's an accenting piece. Keep in mind, you want to have plenty of light. But, you know, if you would have had 4 here, I think it'd have been too much.
Oh, for sure.
One other thing that works nicely here is we have the white subway tile for a backsplash that goes behind this leathered granite that you were talking about just a second ago. Now that is a nice way to keep things simple and complement the kitchen, which in this case, we have some beautiful flowers by none other than my wife, who put this bouquet of flowers together today, which has an H on it. So I'm thinking maybe this is our house.
I'll just take them home. No, the kids thought I was making those for us because they had the H on there. So.
Also, a key feature here is having this window over the sink. It's always nice when you can incorporate something like this because nobody wants to walk into a dark, dead room. Now, you wouldn't have that here anyways because there's so much light coming in. It's just nice to be able to look out on that side of the house as well. For the appliances, we're using all stainless steel. These are all Whirlpool appliances. Another thing which sort of ties all this together is we have the kitchen faucet, which is a brushed nickel, very nice faucet, and it ties things together along with the appliances, which are a Whirlpool style appliance. So the overall layout in this design, we have a main hallway that leads down to the shop and garage, but off of that hallway is our master bedroom, which here is a 12 by 12 room, and we have a closet in here, but all the ceilings are all 9 foot, and we're continuing that same color on the walls with the gray and all the white trim. But one thing here is we're using our standard design that we use in a lot of our alternate bedrooms because we don't have the space to do maybe as large of a closet. But this is where those closet spaces usually provide the basics. You got the cubby shelves in the middle, and then you have all the hanging storage on each side.
One great use of space in this room is we did a custom set of built-in drawers into the wall so that you have more usable space in your bedroom.
Yeah, so on the back side of this wall, there's some stairs, and there was some kind of useless space. At one point in time, they talked about kind of building in some kind of a safe or something like that, but I think they found that it might be better to put some drawers in here just to make it to where they didn't need to put a dresser as well. As we move back across the hallway, we have a full bathroom here. This has got the full walk-in shower, and some of our vanity space is actually a little bit smaller than normal because we have increased the size of the shower. Whereas you might have a little bit longer vanity, here we're just kind of going for the basics, which is a 1 sink vanity, and we have the base cabinetry, which is painted white, and the same countertops that we're using in the kitchen, and we're using an undermount sink, which is rectangular. And we've also added an upper cabinet over the toilet. Now in the shower, this is where we're shining in this bathroom.
Yeah, it's got all the decorations. So it's got the white subway tile, kind of like the backsplash in the kitchen, with the gray grout. And then we have a decorative tile that's a ceramic wall tile. It's called Burgess Arco from Home Depot. They also use the Delta Linden family of fixtures and hardware in this bathroom.
So also off of this hallway, we have this full walk-in laundry room. And one thing to keep in mind when you're designing an efficiency type space, you've got to have plenty of storage. And in this particular room, look at all of the cabinet storage we got going on here.
Yeah, we have a full height cabinet across from the washer and dryer. And then we also have a countertop space, which is the Geoda gray quartz that we have in the bathrooms and the kitchen.
So overall, the space is about a 7 by 10 area, which shows you what you can do with that size of a room.
They also added a small window in here, which adds great natural light into the room.
Now at the end of this hallway, it takes us out to the garage or shop, which originally, again, this was going to be one open shop, but now we have the lower ceiling here, which is about a 9-foot ceiling going throughout on the garage area, because they knew that they were going to be building this detached shop. So here, this is turned into a sort of conventional garage, which is a little different than a lot of times you're seeing on our barndos.
We actually did sheetrock in this garage, so it's a little more finished out than a traditional garage even.
Yes, some of the reasons why we did the sheetrock here is because when we built the added bonus storage, which is up above, we had to switch our framing from steel, from the horizontal framing to the vertical wood framing, which ends up being our 6-inch 2x6 studded walls. So once we did that, and by the time we insulated, we opted to go ahead and cover most of that up so we didn't have just open framing left open for the garage, because we wanted to create sort of a block between the floor space and cover all of that with drywall anyway. So we wrapped everything in here with a drywall. So it gives us more of a traditional look.
One thing I'm glad that they did in the shop is they added a little powder bath. So you've got a restroom attached to your shop, and you can access it from, if you're coming in from outside just real quick, you don't have to come into the home.
Yeah, and always we try to get our water heaters worked in to the garage space, because this area is about 1.5 inches lower than your interior living. So if you ever had a water event happen or something of that nature, everything would drain out. That's one good thing that we're able to do when we have a shop off of the main living. So as we move upstairs, there's a flow that we have going here. We had to change some things because we had to enclose all of our stairway, because the garage space is not heated and cooled, but they did end up adding HVAC to the new bonus storage that we have up above.
This is something that they added after the fact. So the plans that you see are not going to show that because we added it later on. There are some changes that we had to make on the upstairs to accommodate the changes.
So what you're seeing in this big open area, because this is a large room, like 900 square feet of additional storage, like that's not easily obtained.
And it's finished out with the exception of the floor.
So literally all you would have to do to make this an official living space would be to add some type of flooring, whether it be carpet or something on the stairs themselves, and then continue your flooring on the added bonus room up there. In like fashion, we made a couple other modifications once we knew that we were going to have all the extra floor space. The original plans show a access storage room off of the loft, and we ended up excluding that doorway so that it wouldn't take away from the loft room, and that way you could use that for either a sofa space or a bedroom, or if you wanted to make it a bed or of some sort for that loft, you could. And in that space is where we actually tucked away all of our air conditioning.
One cool thing about this loft is that it has a full bath attached to it. It mimics the downstairs bathroom, but it's a full shower and a full bath up there. You could actually use this space for sleepovers if you have some people staying over, or you could just use it as maybe an office or a craft room, and then you don't have to run down the stairs. You'd have your full bath upstairs as well.
Yeah, I'm imagining like a fold-out couch or something like that
Murphy bed.
Yeah, you could set up an additional flex space, I guess what you would call it. In the closet, we actually have an access panel that's open to an unreachable attic area. We had to put that in there just so if you ever needed to get back in there, you could. Also, if somebody wanted to, you could add additional shelving in this closet for hanging storage or anything of that nature if somebody wanted to. As far as the railing goes on the loft, we could have done a pony wall here, which would have added more privacy. If you were going to make this a bedroom, you could have easily done that, or if you were worried about small kids. But here, this is what they opted for, to have something a little more decorative, and it looks really nice.
I love that they did the open railing on this one so that you can see out those beautiful windows, see the pond, and then also see over into the main living space.
All right, guys, that pretty well is a wrap on this Malakoff Barndominium. We hope that you guys have enjoyed walking through this project with us. Again, this project is not for sale, so this house is not for sale. We're not going to be able to give you the exact cost on this particular home. However, we do have a Barndominium calculator on our website at texasbestbarndominium.com, and you can go there and input square footage and kind of play around with the perimeters of something that you might want to build and get cost. And so that's something that we were able to incorporate, and it's been helping a lot of folks out. We hope you'll utilize that resource, and it'll be something that can help you when you're trying to put together your layout, or you're trying to get cost ideas when planning your barndominium. And like we said earlier, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I hope you'll do that. And a lot of people are finding that this has been a tremendous resource for them, for the information that we provide here on this channel. Our commitment's still there. We're trying to continue to bring you informative videos. We do discuss the cost. We talk about these things from time to time, and as well as a lot of our flashing details, framing details, building a hybrid barndominium, and all of the things that are people wanting to know. And so these are some of the things that we're continuing to do. We look forward to bringing you guys more tour videos as well. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that now. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Josh Helm.
And I'm Brady Helm.
We're wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching Texas Best.